Let's get started with a Carrera GT. There's a lot to know about buying a Carrera GT in general. They require regular service intervals even if they are not driven. Tires become unreliable and fluids go stale. If you read the Carrera GT pre-purchase post on the P9 Registry website, the full slate of requirements is set out in detail. Everything can go bad just sitting, from more expensive items like fuel pump and gas tank and struts to lower cost stuff like tires, fluids, and TPMS batteries. But it's worn clutches, overspeed event damage, and pitted camshafts which are the big concern. And these can even occur on low mileage cars poorly driven. Some of these issues cannot even properly be detected and certainly not repaired without pulling the engine. The Carrera GT is by far the most expensive modern production Porsche to maintain, well, at least until we get to the 918's leaking bottom seal and battery pack replacement, but that's for another time. Prices are all over the map to care for the GT. Tires with TPMS, $4K. Major engine out service with belts and seals, $20K. Camshaft replaced, $18K just for the part. Fuel pump and gas tank parts, if you can get them, $22K. New clutch pack, $25K installed. Not to strike fear into prospective buyers, but it does mean that if a car is not recently fully serviced and vetted, large price discounts are in order. So what about this one? P9 Registry VID 507987, a 2005 in GT Silver Metallic with dark gray interior. The most common color with over 50% for North America built in this paint, and over half of those had the dark gray interior. To start, the selling dealer doesn't mention if it has its luggage set, which is important for a low mileage car being targeted to collectors. Probably does, as it only has 338 miles, which to some is good and to others not. There's a lot of discussion about these cars doing better if periodically driven rather than left to sit. And to that point, the market average mileage is 5,500 versus this one's 338, so clearly most are driven a bit. It had an engine out service with fluids and tires back before it first went on the market in 2019. One would assume that all issues were checked when the service was performed. The car should be ready to go. But go where exactly? Who is going to pay up to not drive it? This car hit the P9 Registry Spider in March 2019, 1 month after the major service, and the price has barely changed since that time, currently at $184K. Miles are basically the same, and the owner is the same. The car has had 2 long-term owners. And nothing about this story is remarkable. First, low mileage owners tend to overrate their car's values. At the peak of the market in 2014 through 2016, I transacted the Paint the Sample Scuderia Red 3 times, and it never cracked $1 million. It only had around 450 miles. Compare that to this one. The Arancio Borealis PTS, which I know very well, with a tad over 200 miles, took years to finally sell privately for $1.2 million, which number it repeated all in, but could not exceed at our Monterey 2019. An auction reviewed in the P9 Registry blog post covering the 2019 Monterey Car Week. Keep in mind, there were only 19 PTS Carrera GT for North America, and even PTS cars can rarely sell for this GT Silver's asking price. Second, most buyers today want to drive them, and paying big money for a low mileage car generally means not driving it. Plus, it's GT Silver, not the most collectible color by any means. Finally, digging around into P9 premium data shows market prices for the Carrera GT have been pretty strong over the past year, all things considered. Average market price is $170K less than this one. So what is the rationale for the premium being asked here? This car is over and needs to get down below $900K to move, and even then it will take a buyer looking for a very nice wall plaque. Hope it has luggage. Next is P9 Registry VID 548026, a 2018 991.2 GT3 originally from Canada. In carmine red with option code 68, leather Alcantara interior black-red stitching, it has 3,200 miles, somewhat under average. It's a base model with PDK. XGT option wheels painted satin black with outer lip and guards red is a nice accent. Now, being from Canada should not be a deterrent for a buyer. In fact, Canadian origination cars can sometimes sell at a handsome discount for no apparent reason other than their origin. And they can be slow to sell, always a liquidity risk to own in that regard, but improving the buying opportunity. This one is priced at around 7% below market at $154K, down about $5K from its most previously spidered price. One of the great things about P9 Premium service is that you can track a vehicle's time on the market and its price changes over time. This one is under, but with over 70 991.2 GT3s to pick from in the market today, and in that it's a Canadian-based PDK, one should wait it out further for lower price drops and even more under. With some models, Porsche went a little crazy offering paint to sample, but surprisingly the P9 Registry Search app tells us that out of 3,193 991.2 Turbo S, of which 1,967 were coupes, only 60 coupes, or around 3%, were paint to sample non-metallic. Now compare that to 991.2 GT3, where out of 3,190 built, 388, or around 12%, were PTS non-metallic. Seems that the Turbo S is far more rare at the same production level. This 991.2 Turbo S, P9 Registry VID 538995, is PTS in Etna Blue with black leather interior. Its MSRP is around 10K less than the market average MSRP, and its miles are around the market. But its asking price is about 15K over the market. This creates quite a spread to the market. A 10K lower MSRP, but 15K price, makes it 25K over the market on an MSRP adjusted basis. It's interesting that PTS did not jack the MSRP, but that's because this add-on was balanced out with a low option order. It has some carbon interior and sport chrono, but that's it. While Etna Blue always looks like rap to me, and surely it's appealing to the right audience, pics alone don't do it justice. Anyway, with PTS as its only key differentiator, this one on an MSRP to price differential is down 9%, while the market average is down 20%. That's an 11% depreciation gap. Who's going to eat that? Is that 11% the PTS premium? Not sure. A tough call, but we're calling this one over. Now here is a midnight blue metallic sea blue full leather 2008 997.1 Turbo Cabriolet with tip. P9 VID 642387. My first 993 was a midnight blue C4 cab, which makes me partial to this great color. And this one is very blue with Metropole blue folding top. The car has an MSRP about 10K over the average market, and miles at a tad over 13K are around 30K less than the average market mileage. I note the seller's ad states 20K less miles than the market average, but that just reflects inaccuracy in their source, which is KBB, who cannot track the market at the depth the P9 Registry does. This is because their data sources cannot supply the specific model plus body information needed when buying and selling high-end sports cars. If you don't know this already, all of the big-name pricing services buy their data in bulk. They don't harvest it themselves like P9 Registry does. Now the price at 80K is around $9,600 over market, and as for the miles, looking at the pics in P9 Registry, the interior is pretty worn. So where does that leave us? A quick click of the ad link in the P9 Premium vehicle page, and by the way, the P9 Premium ad links are also delivered with the P9 Premium Daily Spider email, takes us to a franchise dealer who tends to be pretty fair-minded. This is where a deeper dive into the data available only through P9 Registry pays off. There were only 8 997.1 cabriolets delivered to North America in this color combination, and only 3 of those were tips. So if you like to cruise around with the top down without shifting, and if you like these nostalgic colors, this one is under, because good luck finding another one. Especially one with plenty of extra miles to run before catching up with the rest of them. Following on my previous take, here is P9 VID 594509, a lapis blue metallic stone gray 2007 997.1 Turbo Coupe with tip. Now, only 4 cars of this model in this color combination in a coupe were delivered to North America, and only 2 in tip. Normally, I think coupe, I think manual, but out of 7,632 997.1 turbos for North America, around 68% were tips. So, what do I know? Mileage is almost 10K under the market average, and the price is around 5K under the market average. And its sticker is around 7K over the market average. Seems promising. But then the P9 Premium Spider data history. The car has been for sale since October 2019 from the same seller. That's coming up on a year. It started at 67K pre-COVID and has gone up to 75K. Okay, well, the market hasn't gone up, so better drill down deeper. Let's pull the Experian auto check, and there's a minor accident. Maybe it's nothing, but that's still a stain that needs to be explained. What to think? Well, maybe all 77 units on the market per the latest P9 Premium Market Comp are overpriced, or maybe a year ago the seller way underestimated the value, but it still cannot sell, so it can only be over. There's nothing wrong with a clean driver, but all is not what it appears, which is why P9 Premium is a must if you are buying a high-end sports car, such as P9 VID 200038, a 2015 991.1 GT3. At first, it seems a decent two-owner driver with 35,000 miles. The current market average is 16. It's black on black with gray stitching, PCCBs, FAL, Sofas for the long haul, has a higher than average MSRP. Priced at $110K, it's about $12K under the market average, making its price to MSRP delta down $47K versus the price to MSRP delta of the average market car at down only $28K. PDK, so no overspeed events. But the deeper dive in the Experian Auto Check report discloses a front-end accident. And the car went to bulk auction in August 2020, which is where the current dealer probably got it. Unfortunately, given its history, this one is over. We close with a Porsche 2016 991.1 GT3 RS in Ultraviolet, which probably isn't at the top of anyone's need-to-know list, but P9 VID 161851 tells the story of the market for once-hot cars like this one and their fate over the past 2 years. First spidered by P9 Registry in December 2018 for sale by a dealer out of Miami, Florida for $249,000 with 189 miles, it has a higher than average 14K in CXX options. But even so, by March 2019 the car was unsold and the price is lowered by 10K. Then in July 2019, the seller brought it back to the market asking a much lower $199K. Ultimately, the dealer moved the car out at a final ask of $186K in February 2020, a $65K drop in 14 months of sitting. The problem we had in 2018-19 was sellers not getting ahead of the market and chasing the price down, slowly watching the decay, unwilling to sell and move on. That is still going on today. Prices are going down and sellers are behind the curve. The inventory doesn't move. Now, there's been some clearing since COVID hit, but that was economics driven and not psychologically motivated. Sellers, particularly dealers, needed cash, which does cause mental pain. Move the cars, take the pain, make it go away. But case in point, the magical thinking continues is this car. It resurfaced at a new dealer with a few hundred more miles at $186K ask in July this year. It's now September, and the price has only been dropped a few K. Not happening, and surely this one will hang out for a while or be traded to the next dealer. There are too many of these cars on the market and in general. The P9 Registry special blog post on PCNA sales stats pointed out that they sold over 1,500 of this model generating an estimated $313 million in gross dollars, and Ultraviolet was almost 20% of the production. That's a lot of cars now prospectively for sale that are also now very expensive for their age. Even though this one has miles well below the market average, it's not clear anyone will pay for that. It's time to start getting ahead on pricing. This one is over.